These are the guys pushing the buttons. Hey, I am Chuck the bureaucrat, and today what I want to do is I want to introduce you to a group of people who make the Pentagon function. Now, for a while, I've been telling you how the Pentagon's really this giant biological computer where human beings are the main components. For example, we've talked about the grumpy old men who can be an invaluable repository of information, but they tend not to have a lot of contacts, and their behavior kind of discourages the formation of new contacts. Well, the little gray men are kind of like system interfaces. If you want to get something done with a large, complicated information system, you're probably going to have to deal with a little gray man. Sometimes it's not even an IT system, just some formal process where organizations come to compete for resources in some way. You see, little gray men make the system work without being particularly interested in the outcomes. They tend to be very focused on the smooth operation of their system or process, and they do not go off on side quests. Now, their work usually has a natural ebb and flow because their system is tied to some part of the annual budget process. And that means that sometimes they're very, very busy, and other times they experience a period of lull. Now, during these periods of lull, it's not uncommon for their boss, particularly if it's a military boss, to try to put them on other projects. The little gray men are gonna resist this. They might be adamant about staying focused on their process. There might be some heated arguments. I'm telling you this, you might think you've won because they buckle under, but their loyalty stays with the long-term objective of their system or process. When the annual cycle comes back around and things start to get busy again, trust me, they will drop whatever it is that they're doing to make sure that that process runs smoothly. At first glance, the little gray men might seem like an older version of the cog miner, the new guys who don't know how things are connected, and so they stay focused on just their little part of the system, and they're willing to break things to make their little part work the way they think it should. But the little gray men are a lot more nuanced. For one thing, they have a very fine-tuned understanding of what their system or process does for the organization. They have solid relationships with the people who interface with their process. That's just a professional necessity. And in a lot of cases, they have paid the consequences for tinkering with the system. Of course, like anybody, there's going to be problems in dealing with little gray men. In a surprising number of cases, the little gray men built all or some major part of their system. And this can make them seem very parochial, like they're trying to protect their baby. And that feeling that they're trying to protect something of theirs can be really problematic when they're actually trying to protect the interests of the organization. In fact, another feature of the little gray men is they don't communicate particularly well. They can be so in the weeds about such detailed minutia that nobody really understands them. Now, the funny thing about these guys is that the way you make them more effective is really different than most of the other types of people that we've talked about. I don't know if you've noticed, but in every case we've discussed so far, what you're really doing is putting action officers together who are different. Grumpy old men, cog miners, boom, you put them together. Little old lady in tennis shoes, you pair them up with a military operator. But when it comes to the little gray men, what's important is that their boss is a civilian director or executive. They're going to need top cover from somebody who understands the long-term value of what they're doing. And if something actually does have to change, the little gray men need somebody who can underwrite the consequences of that change. And then sometimes they just need somebody who can speak for them. Now, little gray men don't have to be little or gray or men, but it's surprising how frequently they are. Like everything in this bureaucracy, don't let appearances fool you. Focus on understanding the behavior and what benefits that behavior provides to the organization. And now, if you want to know what's coming this holiday season, check out this video.